Your linebackers were dropping exceptional. Okay? You don't have that same type of athletes this time this year. Without further ado, don't forget, we got the pre- and post-game show. That'll be on Sunday. He is our friend, Big Z. Zander Krause joins us right now.
What up, Big Sills? How you doing, brother?
What do you got going on this weekend, man? What do you think? Kansas City? Philly, what do you got, man? I want to hear your prediction. I got 34-19.
Oh, it's a good prediction. I like that. I got 28-17.
Eagles, what'd you have?
I got 28-17. I don't think the Chiefs have enough on offense to get into the end zone more than that. No, maybe Xavier Worthy's out there. That could change it a little bit, but even then, no Rashee Rice, not a great running game. I don't love Pacheco anymore. I don't know about Kareem Hunt, what he can do versus our defense. So I got 28-17. The Birds are going to win the football game in Kansas City. So 28 points, I understand, is kind of rich. Now, it's not that many points, but that's a tough place to play.
It is.
That is it's a loud place to play. You heard John talk about some of the Eagles players refer to it as almost deafening.
It is.
In the ears. So, look, that's something to factor in on offensive side of the ball, but I think they're going to hand that ball off to Saquon Barkley. They're going to be able to do what they want to do in this football game, and I got 28-17.
I've got some things to keep an eye on heading into this game, okay? And I threw this in here. I want to know the health of Atlanta Dickerson. I want to know what's going to happen at corner 2. I want to know what the safety position is going to be going in because Mahomes is going to attack. You saw him attack Greenlaw. When Greenlaw went out in that Super Bowl, you know they're going corner 2 and they're going safety. Kevin Petullo will be an issue. Pass rushing will be an issue. I want to know how much is Zadarius Smith going to play? Are you going to be able to get pressure? The Chargers got pressure on him. So to me, going into this game, I got a question mark going in. How's Kevin Petullo going to get that going? Is he going to get the passing game? Because I'll say this, I want to keep an eye on the run game too.
Well,
Last week was not very good for Saquon Barkley.
Well, I mean, that's what they focused on. But, you know, I think
they focused also on shutting down AJ and Devontae.
Well, they loaded the box and they ran brackets on the corner on the receivers. Okay. I think that's actually what Spags is going to do. And the thing to learn from what Eberflus did, he did have a good plan last week.
He did.
I think that's fair to say that Eberflus had a good plan. And the reason the Eagles were able to prevail in that good plan is because Jalen Hurts was able to pick on them and move the sticks with his legs over and over again, especially in that first half. So that's why I think the Eagles offense was able to run, to do what they were able to do last week. Now, if you're Spags coming into this game and you want to take that plan, how do you mitigate Jalen Hurts if you're going to run a similar defense to what he did, right? Me and John talked about this morning. You almost can't rush the passer if you think about it. Like, if you're going to rush 4 and keep the box loaded and keep the receivers in brackets, the minute your edge rushers start going like this, all Jalen Hurts does is whoop, step outside, boom, 6 yards, first down. He did it how many times did we watch him do it to the Cowboys last week? So if you're not going to keep a spy, because I don't think they'll keep us look, if they keep a spy, though, it just takes a guy out of coverage. And that makes it a lot harder now to bracket A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith as successfully as they did last year.
Well, I don't have to worry about Goddard in that, though. I have a guy.
That's a big thing.
So now Prince brings
up the right point. Why did Goddard have 7 targets and 7 catches last week? Because the brackets left the middle of the field wide open. Now you got Grant Calcaterra in there. Now, I don't like Grant at blocking. But remember, there were some games last year where Calcaterra could catch the ball. So you're going to need him to catch the ball. Yeah, they just ruled Goddard out officially. So Goddard's not playing in this football game.
That's why, to me, I don't have to worry about Goddard in this ball game.
So you think they're going to keep
That's why I do drop a spy in here. And I put him in the middle of the field because if I have a guy, Calcaterra, I think he can catch the ball. I do. I think he's not a very good blocker. He can't block to save his life. He can make some plays. But I don't think that they're going to have him as an essential part of the game plan heading in. By the way, doesn't that make them light? Because now you're going to this football game with only 2 tight ends. Is that right?
Right. Well, you got Calcaterra and Granson. So,
Okay,
and
so
neither
those
of those two
two,
guys are. I mean, neither of those two guys are all that impressive. Now, Calcaterra can catch the ball.
he can.
So to Prince's point, if they're going to run those brackets again, you need a guy in the middle of the field who can catch the ball. You might have another game of Jahan Dotson and Calcaterra in this one. That's why Dotson's interesting because
he's gotten better.
He's gotten better, but they're going to rely on him more if
Yeah.
teams are going to come in and bracket AJ the way that they did last week.
I think the key is running the ball too. They got to run it. Look, they were not bad running the ball, but that was more Hurts running the ball.
100%.
Because
Saquon wasn't all that.
Saquon wasn't a factor.
Yeah,
Get this. Saquon wasn't a factor. AJ wasn't a factor, and Devontae wasn't a factor. Jahan Dotson.
See, I don't get this. Like Matt says shallow mesh all day. Why don't we see more of that in the Eagles offense?
I don't know.
Like, we don't see any of that. Like, I can count on one hand.
Game, no middle.
The amount of times, though, that Jalen drops back, looks, and fire. Like, we don't do that. He doesn't do that.
No 3-step drop, nothing like that. Nothing.
I would like to see more of that because you think that the team that would be able to take advantage of that.
Get him in space.
Jalen doesn't like dumping down. Jalen doesn't like dumping it down, but
all the great ones to win Super Bowls and all that consistently.
I don't agree with this either. Pumper says Hurts can't read the zone.
That's not
true. I mean, Pumper, when you got to realize some of those zone reads that he calls when he puts himself in a running position, he calls them for that reason because he knows he's going to go and pick up the first down.
I think he's gotten better. I don't think he was very good at it.
He's not perfect at it. Yeah, he's not. He
missed 4 open guys, but listen, man. I mean, he had the most time. However, I'm thinking he's getting better, and he's still setting the protections. So I think this is all evolving with him. I do. I don't know, Pump. I don't agree with that. I think he's gotten better at reading his landmarks and understanding. Have you listened to that, Brady?
Dude, you keep talking about it. I've been working. I have it. I just retweeted it on my page.
Bro.
Which people will probably say, I don't know why you did that. Just so I can find it because I couldn't find it. And then I found it. And now I retweeted it. So once I get off here, I'm going to rewatch it. But I can't speak from having seen it.
It's the best I've ever heard a quarterback ever break down how you get developed. And let me play this in and tie this into Hurts here and Kevin Patullo. So Colin Cowherd came up with this idea that, after your first year and your second year, if your coordinator and your coach aren't really moving the sticks, you have to have a conversation with your general manager that this isn't the guy. Brady fired back like this. Well, what are they teaching him? I mean, does the guy know what he's doing?
Yeah, I heard you explain it.
He said Brady went like this. Bill Belichick came in the second year of Brady's years there with New England. He came in and coached him every single day on 2 high and said, don't put your team in this position, put your team in this position. He taught him how to put his offense in winning situations. He said it was the greatest coaching he'd ever had. And then the most important thing, I've never heard Jalen Hurts say this. Brady said that Belichick would go, now do me a favor, go to Scott Pioli and go to Nick Caserio, the general managers, and I want you to get what Trent McDuffie, guy this weekend you're playing, what's his strengths and weaknesses of what that guy does. And I want you to come back and me and you are going to make a game plan on how to attack that guy's strengths and weaknesses. Before you know it, Brady knew all the personnel. He had a book written on guys like Ed Reed and all these guys. I've never heard that kind of talk when it comes to developing of Jalen Hurts. I've heard Nick talk. I've heard Kellen talk. Last year, they didn't develop Jalen Hurts in the passing game. They developed a run game. They developed a run football game last year, not Jalen. Jalen is doing this on his own almost, which is so fucking impressive. It's unreal.
Because you can tell that Jalen has the desire to learn these things. For sure.
Yeah, but this is why he has conversations at the beginning of the year going, well, it's a work in progress, or it's like it's changed 95%, or it's this. You never hear Tom Brady talking that stuff. It's fucking wild. When you listen to it, it's going to change your whole perspective. So I added this into it. Kevin, he goes, well, rank the coordinators. What do they know what they're doing? And so, people asked him about first-year coordinators. He's like, what does a first-year coordinator know how to move the sticks? How would he know how to move the sticks? How would he know how to get guys open? Why? Because he sat and had cupcakes with the offensive coordinator? He wouldn't know that.
Right.
That has to be something you're teaching yourself. So Kevin Patullo, dude, in my opinion, if you were to rank him as an offensive coordinator right now in the league, he'd be 30th.
Wow, he's incomplete, dude. He's called one game.
Okay.
One fucking game.
I gave him the benefit of the doubt at being one of the top 32. You want to go incomplete? I think that's worse.
Well, it's not worse because you can't.
It is worse because you have a resume. Record of it. Why are you turning over a Super Bowl offensive MVP of the Super Bowl to a guy who's not even experienced in play calling?
No, because where you're right is he doesn't have experience, but where I don't know if you're right is I don't think I've seen Kevin Patullo wasn't great with the route concepts, but when you're talking specifically about what it sounds like Brady was talking about with teaching quarterbacks what to see when they're in cover 2, cover 3, man coverage, all these different coverages, Jalen identified that well in week 1. That's part of the reason he didn't throw the ball because they were in brackets, so he just didn't throw it out there at all.
I said he figured that out on his own.
Well, why are you not giving Patullo any credit for that?
Because
and you're just killing him for the route concept.
In-game decisions on what to do by pulling the ball back and taking off with his legs. That's not a design play. That's a guy off script. He's going off script of what the play was. You're right. During brackets, Jalen went like this, off script, run.
All right. Well, I don't disagree with that part of it. I'm just not ready to say that Kevin Patullo sucks. I mean,
it's September.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if he sucks yet.
Listen, No. It's September. I said it wasn't a good look in the first game when Barkley's taken out. Your 2 top receivers are taken out. Hurts had to do a lot of ad-libbing. Do you not agree and go off script a lot?
Oh, he definitely does. That's part of where he makes that's how he butters his bread, man. Yeah.
And I'm giving him a lot of love here. It's either this, Zander, either they had struggles on, like you said, in route concepts. The receivers couldn't get open. Hurts missed some throws, albeit I got it. I'm not going to say he didn't. But he also had the concept of being able to figure the game out as it went on because Dallas was getting pressure on him. Dallas was able to do enough in the run game to kind of slow it down. You take Hurts' running away, bro, you're like 90 yards rushing, 75 yards rushing if you take that away, right? So where was the offense? It was in Hurts' wheels and in his hands. It was him that made that off-schedule plays. Now,
well, how much of that
it is one game. It's September. It's a liar's month. No doubt. I'm with you on that. Okay, I am.
How much of that is the style of quarterback that we have in the offense right now? And I don't say this as a knock at all. I just mean players have different skill sets. Tom Brady was dissected defenses from the pocket and threw the ball to beat teams. That's how his offenses were. If he wasn't able to do that on any given Sunday, they didn't have a good offense. Jalen Hurts' offense is very different. Sometimes it looks like that, but very rarely. You've had a few instances last year, Pittsburgh, maybe the NFC Championship game, maybe the Super Bowl when Spags took away the run game. Very few instances of that. And Kenzo brings up a good point. Where is that comment? Where is that comment? Let me find that thing. Kellen's offense threw the ball 46 times on Sunday. So it's just like you hear it like Kellen, who was pass happy with Dak and had the number 1 passing offense in football with Dak, then comes to Philly. He doesn't pass the ball very much. And then he goes to New Orleans, and now he's throwing the ball all over the place again. Like, in a way, I think a lot of our offensive output is dictated by Jalen Hurts. And some people have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that because it continues to win football games. And I think the thing that makes it work is what you always say with how smart of a player he is and how he sees the game. I don't need to beat you through the air. I don't need to beat you on the ground. I need a good combination of both based on what you're giving me to move the sticks, get into the end zone, and win football games. I think it's very simple with Jalen Hurts. But part of me wonders if the expectations or the desires are not, are not aligned with what we're ever going to see because of what we have at skill in the skill set of the quarterback. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but I wonder if we're expecting the wrong thing here.
Well, as long as you expect to win. Now,
that's what I mean.
You're right. You're never going to see what the optics are going to want. People are never going to see the optics that they want in this offense. Well, this is easy. There's no Saquon Barkley in fucking New Orleans. And
well, that's true.
There's no Barkley in New Orleans. And on top of that, what is the skill set of the coordinator? He's not a run guy. Why would I hand the ball off to a guy 38 times in New Orleans when you don't really have a running back that could take the carries of 38 guys? I don't have Saquon Barkley there. So I am going to throw the ball 46 times. Spencer Rattler's not a runner. He's a passer. So again, it's to what you said, Zander. It's to the skill set of the quarterback that you have in the building there. So, I thought it was wild listening to it. And like you said, I'm not indicting it. I'm just keeping an eye on it because I want to see how he does going into this game. I asked you this yesterday. How do you think they overcorrect in this game on Sunday?
Yeah, I don't think they overcorrect. I think Jalen Hurts is.
How do you approach Kansas City Chiefs defense this time around?
Well, I think you have probably a way of that you want to go about your business to get them. Where are the Kansas City Chiefs defense built? They got Chris Jones, they got Trent McDuffie. Those are their 2-star players. They got Drew Tranquill, who's a good linebacker. They got a couple other good players as well. But
I think they're weak on the edges.
Right. They're weak on the edges. And outside of McDuffie, I don't really love their secondary all that much either.
In the middle of the field, they're safeties.
Right. So, probably come in with the game plan to try and attack some of those weaknesses. But at the end of the day, I think the Eagles are going to take what they're given.
Isn't this a game that's set up to throw the ball deep?
I don't think so.
Their safeties stink in corner. You just said it.
Stink, but if they play too high, they could stink. The throws aren't going to be there.
You think they got good? Did you watch good linebacker play against Justin Herbert?
No,
I didn't see it. I didn't see.
Oh, you know what else I saw with Justin Herbert? They could have managed that every time he took off.
I know
he had a back-breaking run for that team. So now you got Justin Herbert. To his credit,
nowhere near Hurts.
Well,
running the ball
nowhere near him in terms of throwing the football.
No, that's
they're
right.
Not a perfect comp, and I don't. Again, that's not a knock on either part. I hate when people think that's such a knock. Different players have different skill sets. It's not a crazy thing to say at all. Different people are good at different things.
Right.
Justin Herbert, though, who is pretty mobile for a 6'5" dude, really beat them up when he ran the ball last week. He had that big run late in the game. So I think that's kind of an advantage. And Steve's going to have to play them a little bit differently because he knows that Jalen, will take off quicker and has a propensity to do it quicker than Herbert would. Herbert, while he can do it, would still prefer to sit back there and deliver that ball. So 2 different styles of quarterbacks, but, it will be interesting. I don't know. I almost don't know what the offense is going to want to do in the game. What do you think they're going to want to do? Do they want to get AJ involved? What does that look like? Because I think Steve is going to take – I think you're going to see a version of Steve's Super Bowl defense and what Dallas did in week 1, right? Because Steve let them destroy him in the air whenever the opportunity was presented because he took away Saquon, but he sold out to take away Saquon. So if you're going to sell out to take away Saquon and keep the receivers limited – what do? You stack the box and you keep 2 high safety. That's what they're going to do, I think. And then that's going to leave Jalen probably a lot of room to run underneath, probably a lot of quick passes, and they haven't really been great at that. That's where I think Kevin Petula is going to, got to do some things this week to get the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands quickly. But again, I think Jalen Hurts is going to manage the game the right way as he has very consistently. We've won 15 straight games of him starting and finishing.
Well, he's played really well in the last 3 games against KC. He won at Arrowhead. He won the Super Bowl, right?
Yep.
And the Super Bowl, maybe it's the last 4 games, right? Is that the last 4? He lost the Super Bowl, played well in. He turned around the following year, played in Kansas City and beat him at Arrowhead, right? Then he turned around and he beat him this last year in the Super Bowl. So, the last 4 games, one thing you got to say about him is that against Spags, if Todd Bowles has his number, boy, Jalen really has played awful well against Steve Spagnuolo.
Yeah, that's true. No, he definitely has. He's played really well against Spags, and I don't know what. I wonder if Spags is going to try some different things. Jalen killed him when they blitzed him, so I don't know what Spags is going to do. Is he going to sit back?
I'd rather sit back than blitz.
Yeah, but here, what do you do?
I'd rather die by slow cuts.
What do you do?
I'd rather die by slow cuts than a cut across the neck.
What do you do though with your pass rushers if you're Spags? Because every time, right? You almost have to tell them, go for the quarterback, but don't really try and get there fully. Because the minute you go too far, he will step up and pick up a first down.
Bro, you're hitting on it. Chris Jones has to have a super game. Keep the pocket integrity, and the interior tackles have to, and that's why you got to keep a spy there. Because
and if they do this, then Kevin Patullo needs to have a great game. Because think about it, if your front four aren't really pressuring the quarterback intentionally because they don't want to let him pick up first downs, that means Jalen's going to be able to sit in the pocket. And if they're playing that too high bracket, guess what? Patullo better scheme some people open up in the flats in the middle of the field, where you're not going to have Dallas Goedert, so he can get the ball out. If they don't give him any people to get the ball out to, it's going to be torture.
Let me go on the other side of the ball here. By the way, super chats, and please, guys, hit the like button. How does the defense attack Mahomes?
Oh, you got to get pressure. I mean, that's it on Mahomes. You got to get pressure, and then the other thing you got to do is this is where Vic's defense is perfect for this, because he doesn't have the manpower right now at receiver. So that those zone defenses that Vic is going to be in are going to be torture, because it's going to make Mahomes have to force the ball into tight windows, and you might be able to capitalize, and take advantage of that and create some turnovers or some takeaways for the defense. So, that's going to be interesting, but it's all about the pressure on Mahomes. You get him off his spot, it's going to force him to throw that ball, and that's where that zone coverage has to come in. Now, if you're Mahomes, ideally you say, pick on Adoree Jackson, but who's he picking on Adoree Jackson with? I don't know. I really don't know. Tyquan Thornton? Juju Smith-Schuster? Pucker Up says Xavier Worthy's doubtful to play. I haven't seen the update on him.
There's no way he's playing. He has separated shoulder. Come on, stop that. I mean, and get this. If he is playing, I'm going to drop him on his head. Let's go. All right. Zander, so you said that you don't think the Chiefs have the personnel at wideout, right? Well, who are your best cover guys that you have right now? Q and Cooper and who?
We got Coop, Reed, I guess, in a sense, Adoree Jackson. That's it. I think they're going to Ja'Cory Bennett pretty soon here.
Well, I don't really think you have a lot of great cover guys, but 2.
No, you don't. But that's why you're going to try and.
So that's a push, and if the push goes to Mahomes, I'm going Mahomes on that.
Wait, why are you saying push?
Okay, here's why. Okay, Reed, I'll give a half. I'll give 2.5.
But what about Q and Coop? I don't even think they have 2 guys to match up with those guys.
Hold on. Well, okay. So you're going to play too high? You're going to play zone? You're going to play man? What are you going to do here against Mahomes? What do you think they're going to be in? More zone or man?
Yeah,
zone. Okay.
Obviously.
So that means there's going to be an underneath. And there's going to be room for him to find passing lanes underneath. Not high. That's what too high is. They don't want you to get deep. Plus 25.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to play a lot of too high, because with no Xavier Worthy, now maybe Tyquan, but
maybe they shrink this.
If you come into this game with the game plan to stop Tyquan Thornton,
I've never heard of fucking Tyquan.
You don't have the right game plan. So no,
what's his name? Taekwondo?
Tyquan Thornton or something like that.
I've never heard of the guy.
He's apparently pretty quick though. He does have 4.2 speed.
But here, follow me here. I don't think you really have great cover guys outside of 2 dudes. I mean, you're these other guys may not be top flight wideouts.
But isn't some of that masked?
You don't have top flight cover guys.
Yeah, but isn't some of that masked to a certain extent by the zone? I'm not saying you're off the hook.
Masked by pressure.
Well, it's also mass though, because you're not asking them to stick on somebody. You're asking them to fill a zone. Now, when you have guys like CeeDee Lamb who runs routes like he did last week and gets open, yeah, you got problems. But this is where I think the Chiefs are fucked because they don't have a receiver.
But Dak is not Mahomes. Mahomes is gonna make average wide receivers like he did in the Super Bowl to beat you.
But Tyquan Thornton is not CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens.
Yeah, but who the fuck is Juju Smith-Schuster? He was almost out of the game. He played in Canada.
Maybe.
No, listen. What I'm saying again is, last year you guys covered every one of those zones with CJ, with Slay, with Coop in the slot, what you had at safety, and what you had on the other side with Q. Your linebackers were dropping exceptional. Okay? You don't have that same type of athletes this time this year. At least in game 2, they're not there yet. Dory Jackson can't cover. He got spun around like a top. Bennett's not ready yet. Makuba, okay. I think I like him more in coverage than I do. Sidney Brown in coverage is a liability, dude. He is a liability.
Well, he's not. I don't think he's going to play much at all. Who do you got covering Kelsey?
Campbell. You know why? Physical. That guy is an old dude. Put the young Turk on him and beat his ass up.
Right.
Beat him up.
Well, physically, he's much better matchup for sure. And honestly, Campbell has showed pretty good promise in the coverage game for a linebacker. I mean,
this has to be a Bond game and a Carter game. Bond and Carter have to be enormous. Bond going sideline to sideline. Bro, when Bond has those two dudes in front of him, and yes, that includes Jordan Davis, when he's got the free run around, he's great in space, Zander. He really is. I think it's going to be interesting to see how Mahomes attacks Vic's defense, because I don't really think you have the open space tacklers you had a year ago. You were one of the best tackling teams a year ago. I don't know if you have that, especially in corner right, CB2 and safety yet. I think McCool.
Well, let's be real. Slay was a great player. Slay wasn't the best tackler either.
No, but you kept everything underneath, and your linebackers were able to make plays.
What I liked about Slay was he might not have been the best tackler, but he didn't really get beat. He just didn't really make the hit. But he got you out of bounds.
What did he do? He grabbed you and took a 15 instead of
or got you out of bounds. Or pushed you to the sideline to get you out of bounds. So no, I don't know. I mean, you're not wrong about that. I think Adoree is a problem there. Excuse me. I think Makuba is a little bit of a concern there. I mean, you had C.J. Gardner-Johnson last year, who was a much more physical player. Well, not necessarily. Makuba's very physical, but Makuba hasn't proven that his size can hold up at the NFL level, and I think that's the problem with him. But I don't know. How'd they grade out tackling week 1? I should go and look at that.
Yeah, let me
see if I can pull that up.
Because they had to grade out better than Dallas, right? I thought Dallas didn't tackle very well. Well, they had to have, because nobody had any catches except for the two dudes. Goddard. Dude, Goddard's got to go, man. What the fuck, man? He's hurt again. Dude, John's crazy, man. That guy's missed 25% of his career in the last 5 years. Zander, 25% he's missed. He's missed 16 games in the last 4 years in 2 games. Do you think that's a lot? Zander, do you think that's a lot?
That's a lot, bro. Yeah. I'm not buying John's bullshit either on that.
16 games he's missed in 4 games in 2 years. Or 4 years and 2 games. Dude, that's a ton.
All right, I'm looking at our defense right now. I love this thing that I will say, I know people chirp PFF, but the one thing I like about their website is you get really interactive stuff. Like, let me show you guys this real quick. I know people, again, I'm not trying to.
No. They have
people don't like PFF, but
I mean,
this stuff is dope. You can come in here like this and you can just look at, 11 personnel, 12 personnel, opponent. You can line up a team opponent. You know what I mean? That's an opponent. You can go into base coverage, or you can go into
do you know the only thing that they don't do?
Look, you go nickel or base. I mean, this stuff is awesome to be able to look at.
The only thing that you have a problem with PFF is you don't know what the offensive coordinator is thinking and why he's doing that and calling those plays. It's more analytics, right? And it's based on percentages.
Yeah, I mean, look, it is a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit not.
It's too technical, a little bit.
It's very technical. Again, I'm not saying it's perfect. I'm just saying
there
there are some things on there that are. Yeah, there are some things on there that are really nice,
yes.
Really nice tools to have, especially for someone like, obviously what I'm doing is, covering the game. So let's look at this Dallas game and see how the team graded out in tackling. Oh, I can't find this damn.
I didn't think they were terrible.
No, I don't think they were either. But I'm about to find out.
I mean, I can't think anybody really well. I think CD's drops probably helped that a lot. I think those drops helped a ton there, but I mean, George Pickens didn't have a big game.
They were the number 8 ranked team in football in week 1 in tackling. So not bad. Not bad.
How do you think that number would have changed?
The Chiefs were at the bottom.
How do you think that number would have changed if CD makes those catches?
In tackling, probably not much, but in coverage, it would have been terrible.
Okay.
Coverage, it would have been terrible. They were graded out as the 10th, graded, not ranked or anything, not like all based on numbers, just based on the PFF grades. They were the 10th ranked defense in week 1. So the Packers defense is looking good. We got to talk about that. We have to talk about that.
No, absolutely. Okay.
We got to talk about that game.
You're not buying the Packers right now, are you?
I'm not saying I'm buying them in terms of they're going to the Super Bowl, but that's a legitimate contender.
Okay. Well, September's a liar's month, and I'll say it again. People were talking about New Orleans being a superstar team, and I still don't believe. And get this, it's not.
Yeah, but there's differences.
Hold on, it's not Micah Parsons. It's not the defense. It's Love. I don't buy him still.
He makes.
I saw shitty plays last night.
He makes me a little. Yeah, he missed guys last night all over the place, dude.
I mean,
but I'll say this: in your opinion, what's the top 2 or 3 things that make an NFL football team a team that can contend, even if they don't have all the players or all the talent? What's the top 2 or 3 things? Because there's 2 things that stick out to me easily.
You got to have a great O-line, and you've got to have a defense.
Got to have a good defense. I think defensive line, most importantly.
Okay.
And I look at that Packers team.
How about this? I'll take this. You got to have a defense that can stop people. Whatever that means. Stop people.
Did that defense look like a defense that can stop people to you?
Yeah, they were great last night.
But anyway, go to the trenches. Packers O-line is pretty solid. They were missing 2 offensive linemen in that game last night, and they still looked okay. Commanders didn't get that much pressure.
No, they did not.
So offensive line is solid, and that defensive line, I know people don't like Michael Parsons. That defensive line is a fucking problem, dude. That they can't block all those dudes on that defensive line.
They finished 26th in rushing defense last year. So you're saying
last year's last year.
And you just love Kenny Clark.
Huh? Well, they lost Kenny Clark. They added Micah Parsons. He was, come on, man. He was tormenting.
And do you think Washington has a good run game?
No. Oh my gosh. I think that's where they overplayed their hand. But wait, can we get to them? So yeah, you're right. It's too early for the Packers yet. I'm just saying they have the makings of if they stay healthy, if Jordan Love doesn't fuck everything up, like they got a lot of receivers, they got the good tight end. They have the makings of a
They
team
lost that kid for a little bit.
Yeah, it's September. I'm with you. I'm not ready to say
they're probably going to get that kid back too. That kid who hurt his shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because again, it was more of a break.
They lost my point. Like
too. Okay,
that's why I think the Packers are going to be there. Now, in the same vein, in the same breath, this is why I'm not sold on the Commanders. Okay, I look over at the other side. Javon Kinlaw was fucking nowhere yesterday. You know, they replaced Jonathan Allen with Kinlaw. He didn't look very good. They lost that dude who just got ruled out for the season. I'm blanking on his name. What's his name?
Eckler?
What's his name? He got hurt last night.
I can't think.
Who's got me last night? Commander's injury. I'm blanking on his name. He has an interesting name. Dietrich Wise. That's what it is. Dietrich Wise. He's out for the year. Defensive lineman. what's his name? Eckler's out. They just traded Brian Robinson. I don't know why. When they traded Brian Robinson, I said, why are you trading him? They're putting it all on Eckler. Now who do they got at the running game? So you got a young quarterback in year 2 who has no running game. Josh Connerly is his right tackle, who's a rookie who got now Micah Parsons. Not every week he's going to have to face Micah, but he got taken to the woodshed last night. Laramie Tunsil looked kind of how I thought, not all that great. So not in love with their offensive line, not in love with their defensive line. Their skill position players are, I don't know, does Terry McLaurin look like a $32 million wideout to you?
Yeah, well, he will be. It's week 2. I mean, it's not like the Eagles played a superstar team in the Dallas Cowboys in week 1.
Should I pull out the Big Z Book of Revelation?
Wait, Revelations here. It's week 2. Get this. You're making it sound like the Dallas Cowboys were like a 14-win team or something, that you guys played great.
No, I'm not. You're right. It's too early to make any proclamation.
And the Washington Commanders are playing a team that looks really good right now. And by the way, what was this here? Let me see this here. 17. And they lost by 11. They played shitty and lost by 11. Okay. In Lambeau. All right.
Admit this. That Packers offense left a lot on the table in that game.
Because of the quarterback.
He missed a couple throws that were
the quarterback.
Well, yeah, and that's where you're right. That's the biggest question with them, is because when Jordan Love's on his game, good quarterback. Gets that ball out, throws the ball downfield. The other thing that I like about the way the Packers play, but in the same time, at the same reason I like it is one of the reasons I don't like it, because I think they rely on it too much. But Matt LaFleur knows how to scheme up some deep plays.
He sure does, boy.
He knows how to scheme up some explosive plays. I mean, that's one of the Eagles' core philosophies, guys, is win the explosive play battle. That dude gets guys open deep.
I thought when Aaron Rodgers left that it was going to be whether or not this guy was really a good coach or not. I'll tell you what, bro. He's a good coach. He knows what he's doing. He was on that Washington staff with Sean McVay and all them guys. Dude, he knows what the hell he's doing. I agree with everybody. I think Green Bay looked great last night, but I have been here before.
It's too early. I get it. Yeah, I'm with you.
Dude, people wanted people fired in Philadelphia last year after 4 weeks.
It's so true. No, I know. It's way too early. I'm just saying they have the makings of the team that could be there in January. As soon as things go right for them.
Yes.
They do.
Yes. And I will agree with this on Washington. I think there were some personnel decisions that you are beginning to have to do this. Put down and keep it in the back here with notes. You don't have a run game. You moved a guy that was pretty okay. He's a Bama dude, right? The kid that they moved, he was a Bama guy.
Yeah, Jonathan Allen. They still got Deron Payne, who's a good player, but I don't like what they did there. I know. How many times did we talk about?
And you moved off of Jonathan Allen.
That's what I mean. How many times? Look, and again, you're right. I ain't proven right yet. I am not. They haven't proven anything yet. None of the teams. You're right. I'm just saying some of the things that I didn't like that they did in the offseason
showed up.
Yeah. Like I didn't love what they did on the offensive line. I wasn't in love with Tunsil. I didn't love Javon Kinlaw.
The signs showed up. No, that's where you are right now, is that the signs showed up on what some of the things that you saw going into this game. All right, let's read some of these supers, man. We got Philly Godfather coming. Hey, by the way, is there a game?
Let me send Godfather.
Is there a game this weekend that you're going to be focusing in on other than Eagles and Chiefs?
Not a great slate.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm looking at these. Philly and KC have to be that's the best game of the weekend, isn't it?
You see that Prince super chat? I'm going to click on it in a second. That's a lot of sacks, bro. You were on Jalen Hurts about that, and you've talked about how they change games, and I don't think that offensive line is really good enough.
Ton, Prince.
Yeah, 7 sacks in 2 games.
7 sacks. You're giving up almost 4 sacks a game. That's a ton. Okay.
All right. Let me just make sure he's got that. Prince, thanks for the super chat, brother. Jaden Daniels has 7 sacks in 2 games. I'm just saying. You're right, Prince. I mean, and that's the problem.
How about Seattle, Pittsburgh?
What's that?
Seattle at Pittsburgh? I'll tell you what.
Awful.
That Denver Indy game. I'm interested in that Denver Indy game too.
Yeah, man. Is Indy for real? Like, are you buying them at all? I mean, I know it's, again, Liars Month. You can't buy anybody, but if you had to pick the most dominant team of week 1, it was the Colts. Now, they See, that's a team that sounds like the Saints to me from last year, not the Packers. The Packers were a playoff team last year. The Packers won 12 games. The Packers were a much better team, whereas the Saints were, I don't know.
Bro, tell me Michael Parsons hasn't brought energy to that fucking football
game,
though.
Dude, Michael Parsons.
Mean, it's like electricity, isn't it?
He looked good last night, dude. He was playing a rookie tackle
2 nights.
And you know what they do with him that's interesting that happens
around.
Oh, yeah, boy. So you got Tyler Steen. Oh, boy. They're going to line him up right over Tyler Steen. You got injured Landon Dickerson, Brett Toth, and Michael Parsons coming at you. They're going to be able to use him all over. Huh?
When do they play the Packers?
I think week 10, the Eagles play the Packers. Right after the bye.
At Lambeau? It's in Lambeau, right?
Yeah, it's at Lambeau.
Hey, dude, that might be one of the biggest games of the year, if not the biggest games of the year.
I think that's after the bye week. Let me make sure it's after the bye week.
Man.
Yeah, they're after the bye week. At Packers, 8:15 game. Is that a Sunday night?
No, it's Monday night.
Oh!
It's a Monday night game.
That's going to be a big week on the channel. Monday night game means Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are going to be bangers. Let's go, baby.
Absolutely. All right, let's get the rest of these before my guy.
All right, here we go. Matt, what's up, Matt? Sills is right. Expose holes pre-snap and adjust through the game, but not scheming players open in those holes is incompetence. That's where I think Petula's got to be better.
That's, again, right. Right. I think Spags is going to do what you said, dude. He's going to do a little bit of what the Cowboys did, and also he's going to go away from what he did in that Super Bowl. He can't put the same game plan on. They ran him over.
Well, he can't do that. That's not a better game. You'd almost rather Saquon beat you because they score 28 points when Saquon runs crazy. Right. You took away Saquon and let the passing game get going. They dropped a 40 burger on your head in front of the whole world. Right. He ain't going down that road again. Riding the bench checks in with $10. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. He says, do you think Jalen trusts the coaching right now? Remember, he went to Wink when he had his issues with the blitzes, not in-house. I wonder if he thinks that the coaches won't give him that insight like Brady had. It's an interesting thought process.
Because he did go to Wink after he lost that.
That was a while back. But
that was after the 23 playoff game against the Bucs that he went and asked him, Wink Martindale, who at the time was the D coordinator of the Giants.
The Giants, that's right. Yep.
Dude, I think he does. I think he trusts these people. I do. But I think, there's no coincidence that Brady had all these guys like Josh McDaniel and O'Brien, and he had Charlie Weiss. These guys were there a long time in New England, and they were able to develop them. Hurts don't you agree the best coach he's had has been Shane Steichen?
Oh, yeah.
Look at what Steichen did today. I had to look it up twice and realize that was Dimes Jones.
Quarterback. Shane's got friggin' the only person he couldn't say was Anthony Richardson. I think we're all out on Anthony.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe that was
Jalen is the one dude there that wouldn't allow it to happen. If the coordinators weren't teaching him shit, he would go around them like he did with Wink. So, I think part of him thinks like Brady with that stuff. Now, is he getting the coaching? I have no way to tell. Prince checks in. What's up, Prince? Jalen is more confident. From the game I saw, he's moving quicker and being more decisive. He's not indecisive like he was last year.
I think that's a fair comment.
More to line of scrimmage.
I think that's fair. I think that's right on. I that's what I saw in that game against the Cowboys. I agree with you, Prince.
Christopher Michael. What's up, Christopher? Thank you, bro. $10 super chat. Thank you, my man. He says, guys, I just want to say thank you both for giving us an out from all the evil shit in the world. And boy, Christopher, is there a lot of it. Thank you for giving us a platform to give our opinions to, even just about sports. As always, go Birds. Christopher, that's pretty cool, bro.
Great stuff, Christopher. We thank you,
my man. I appreciate you. Bud Scroggins checks in. Sills, how many games does it take players to get into game shape?
I think it depends on age. If you're plus 30, I think it takes longer. If you're under like 27, I don't like Parsons. Look, they're ramping him up, and he's a 25-year-old guy. So obviously, I think he's referring to Zadarius Smith.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming they're probably going to put him on a pitch count in this Chiefs game, but I would expect him in on third down and passing situations.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think you got this one too. Brian Pumper. Sills, can you break down how to read a D? You got that one, right?
I did. It's too much in the weeds with that stuff.
Yeah. Brian Pumper. All right, brother. Great show, man. I will
I tell you what, Zander, I can't wait to the pregame show. I mean, Kansas City. I mean, so what was the score again you had?
I had 28-17. I don't think Kansas City's got enough on offense to score much more than 17 points. I know that Eagles defense is still unproven, got some holes there, but I mean, Dallas put up 20. They corrected in the second half, made great adjustments with Vic Fangio. I don't see it on that Kansas City offense right now. 28's a big number, though, for the offense, just considering that you're at Arrowhead, which is one of the hardest places to play. You know, you are the dog. It is the home opener for the Kansas City Chiefs. There's a lot. By the way, how about this? Something you'll almost never see at Arrowhead. It's supposed to be 90 degrees in Kansas City.
You better have your
you normally got frosted lip when you're fucking there, dude.
Your mask on, bro. You better be ready to rock because you're gonna be hot.
Yeah. Rico, you're right. That would be a jersey giveaway, so we'll do it next week, my friend. We already gave away our first jersey, so good stuff. Sills, thank you, brother.
All right, brother. I'll see you this weekend.
All right, dude. Later.